Hi, I'm Cathy Kelley for AfterBuzz TV, and we are sitting down with David S. Goyer, who is, of course, the writer and pretty much you are the man of many talents on this show, Da Vinci's Demons. You do it all from executive producing, writing. I know you directed several episodes as well. What is your favorite role in all of that?
Jeez. Gosh, I don't know. I love post-production when we're editing and doing the sound mix and Bear McCreary, who won the Emmy for doing the music on our show, I music spot every episode with him, and I really enjoy doing that. I mean, I love the writing and the directing too, but I don't know why, but post-production, a lot of filmmakers will tell you post-production is kind of the most fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's sort of where the actual
you see everything come to fruition.
Yeah, the filmmaking come and all this stuff that audiences take for granted is like it happened. You know, the sound and the music. I don't know. It's probably a boring answer, but that's the truth.
So I've heard a lot of my friends. I've watched prior to this, but a lot of my friends are planning to binge watch season 1 when it comes out. I think it was March 17th on Starz. But for fans that haven't seen season 1, just give a brief overview of the series.
It's kind of an action adventure show. It's
a different take on Da Vinci.
Definitely a different take on Da Vinci. He's a bigger than life character. I've said he's kind of 1/3 Tony Stark, 1/3 Indiana Jones, 1/3 Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. It's funny sometimes. It's dark. It's really crazy. In the first season, we had an episode that involved a naked man being glued to a pig. So we slay a lot of sacred cows in the show. It's definitely a pay cable show. There's things on our show that you can't do on network television. Yes. We don't. There's almost nothing we don't shy away from.
Yeah. And so now going into season 2, I know that you're always looking to top yourself. Is there going to be more craziness, more action this season?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a cliche to say that the second season is bigger and broader in stroke and whatnot, but the show expands beyond Florence. We go to the Ottoman Empire. We go to Constantinople. We go to we involve the Inca, in Peru, and it's completely crazy and mad. We've got 10 episodes this time instead of 8. A lot more action. It's darker. I mean, I don't want to give too much away for people who haven't seen the first season, but some events happen near the end of the first season that are pretty extreme. And we the repercussions of those events are definitely felt throughout the second season.
And I heard that we get a lot more character backstory this season as well with Laura and with Leonardo.
We do some flashbacks. Laura Haddock, who plays Lucretia, she's a very mercurial character in the first season, and we're not quite sure why she's doing what she's doing, and we learn why in the second season. Oh, and one of the things that we do is there's a mythology. There's something Leonardo is searching for something called the Book of Leaves, and he gets involved in a sort of mystery cult known as the Sons of Mithras, which were a real secret society. And we turn over some cards this season. There are a lot of mysteries in real life regarding the identity of Leonardo da Vinci's mother, and we're going to learn more about that as well.
And I know in Leonardo da Vinci's actual life, there's a huge chunk of time that wasn't really recorded. No one knows what happened. So did you find that a challenge, or kind of it let you be creative with it?
When you're doing something that inspired by or somewhat based on history, to have missing years, which Leonardo did, it's gold. It's manna from heaven, because it allows you suddenly to just imagine and create. And so there's a period of time in Da Vinci's younger years, where some of our show takes place, in which not a lot is known about where he was, and even historians are conflicted about where he was or what he was doing or who he was working for. I mean, at one point we've got a couple of letters from Leonardo saying that he was in Syria making war machines for the Ottoman Empire, and other historians say no, that's not true, but by his own hand he says that's what he was doing.
Yeah. And you are known for creating very complex characters. Leonardo is definitely a complex.
I didn't create
I
him,
know, but
yeah.
in this series, he is portrayed as a very complex person. So is that fun for you to do?
It is. I mean, in doing the research for the show, a lot of people think of this like sort of professorial guy with a beard who did The Last Supper and the Mona Lisa, but he was known to be a practical jokester. He was known to be a good swordsman. He was ambidextrous. He could fight with both hands. He was also kind of a braggart, and he had a big mouth. He was arrested a couple of times. He was put on trial, and he was a lot more colorful character than people realize.
Yeah. So other than Leonardo, who was your favorite character in the series? Do you have a favorite?
I mean, you know, now some certain cast members are going to get mad at me if I don't name them. I mean, look, I think without question a breakout character from our first season is a guy named Count Riario, who's played by Blake Ritson. He's sort of the Darth Vader of the show. He's kind of who is a real guy who was the bastard son of Pope Sixtus, and Blake does a fantastic job. In season 2, we introduced a new character, Amerigo Vespucci, who America was named after, and he's a really, really fun character because in doing research about him, he's supposedly this great explorer that was a contemporary of Columbus, but he appears to have been a bit of a con man and a kind of a shameless self-promoter, and might have lied about a bunch of stuff and maybe not discovered everything that he said he did, and he's a fun character.
So going into season 2, you killed off a lot of people season 1. So are we going to get some new characters this season?
There's definitely new blood in season 2. We introduce a variety of new cast members, but that's one of the things that I think is fun about a show is that sometimes, you know, even series regulars can get killed off in the middle of the story and you never quite know what's going to happen. However, just because a person dies on our show doesn't mean you won't be seeing them again. Okay.
So flashbacks, perhaps?
Or not.
Oh, they're not officially dead?
You'll have to see.
Oh my gosh.
Let's say there's at least one person that died in the first season that is showing up again in the second season, and it's not a flashback. If
I start naming people, will you tell me?
No.
Okay. So I love that you also called them new blood, because I'm sure there will be more bloodshed this season as well. Okay. Are we going to see more people die off then?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, of course.
Always.
It was a violent time.
Yeah.
We've got some really gruesome deaths in this. There's some really gruesome deaths in this season.
What was one of your favorite scenes specifically to film this season?
This season?
Yeah.
Wow. Let me think about that for. Well, gosh, I don't want to give too much away. Yeah. There's some stuff that happens in episode 6 and 7 that is insane. That when I proposed it, Starz said, "You're crazy. We can never do that. We can't pull that off. There's no way. Forget it." And we did it, and it's really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited to see that. And then I know you also expanded this season. It's now 10 episodes as opposed to 8 from last season. So was that more challenging to write, direct, everything?
No, it was actually, it was nice to have a couple more episodes to flesh things out.
And what are you overall most excited for fans to see this season?
I think that in some ways, the first season, I'm really proud of what we did in the first season. But it's kind of the setup. It's like the first act of a movie. Yeah. And I think that season 2, season 1 was the origin story, and season 2 is kind of more representative of really what the scope of the show is going to be. And it's a lot bigger than I think perhaps the audience might have first thought. It's a story that's going to play out, hopefully, if we keep going other seasons, over the whole globe, not just in Europe. It's going to be all over the place.
I know that you planned out the second season before season 1 was already airing. Yeah. So how far in advance have you planned out so far?
I mean, we definitely have a pretty good direction idea for where season 3 would go, without question.
Well, thank you so much, David. And be sure to check out all the other interviews that we do for Da Vinci's Demons on AfterBuzzTV.com.